You might have heard that you can submit a range of outputs to the ref, but when you talk to your local ref contacts, you found some reluctance to submit anything that isn't a journal publication or a book. And you're probably wondering why. Well, first of all, it's not about the quality of your outputs. It's largely down to the university's attempts to mitigate risks around their ref submission. The ref is worth a lot of funding, more than £2 billion per year, so universities are very cautious about how they approach it. It might be because the ref rules have changed over the years. Some people aren't up to speed with those changes, and others, well, they just want more reassurance that what the rules say is what the rules actually mean. And then, of course, there's the issue of research culture. Almost since the dawn of academia, journals and books have been the metric by which success in research is measured, and despite the problems of using them as the only metric of success in the modern era, it takes a long time for research culture to change. Because of the consequences for funding, universities, and especially those people with local responsibilities to implement the ref, are under a huge amount of pressure to get their submissions right. They often try to mitigate this risk by focusing on the outputs they know well, and that's journal publications and books. And they also focus on the outputs that they know work for the last ref. The problem is, that's also journal publications and books. In fact, if we look at the last 3 ref-like evaluations, 97% of all outputs were submitted into the categories for journal publications and books. These outputs are obviously vital to research, but they represent only a part of the research process, and this is why there have been successive pushes from the people behind the ref to broaden the outputs that are submitted to the ref. If we recognise all of the outputs and all of the people who are vital to research, we can advance research. The last ref allowed submission into 22 different categories of output, which covered everything from compositions to data. And even this diversity doesn't recognise everything that's important. The next ref is likely to allow at least that many categories. So what can you do if you're sitting on some world-leading software, a groundbreaking design, or some other vital output? Well, you can certainly tell your local ref decision maker that you're allowed to submit these outputs into any of the allowed output categories. These should have been published in autumn 2025, but the ref pause will probably push that date back, possibly to early 2026. You can also point them to section 5.6.7 of the Guidance on Contribution to Knowledge and Understanding, which states that an underpinning principle of the ref is that all output types will be assessed equally. And whilst you're working with your local decision makers, you can join us at the Hidden Ref and help us campaign for a more equitable and more effective research culture. One that recognises not only your non-traditionally submitted outputs, but all outputs and everyone involved in their creation.